What's up, house groups? It's 2026, brand new year. I don't know about all of you, but my kids were super excited to head back to school and start waking up early again this week. So that's been fun. But new year, new opportunities, new sermon series called Onward that Nicole kicked off this week with an awesome message about what it's going to take to move in the direction God has for us in the year ahead. If you didn't hear the message on Sunday, you should definitely go check it out online. It was a great sermon, a great challenge to kick off the year. But I did get a number of complaints about a small, I don't want to call it heresy, even though that's what a few of the emails and texts I got termed it. So we'll just call it an error, like a little mistake in one thing Nicole said. So just to clear things up, despite a bad run of recent results, Iowa was, and will always be a Hawkeye state. That's why Matt Campbell had to leave. He tried to dress his team up in Hawkeye colors whenever he could, and eventually he just had to run away in fear. So now that we got that covered and everything's settled again, on Sunday, Nicole talked about obedience. And it kind of boils down to this one simple, challenging idea. Faith isn't just what you believe, it's what you do next with that belief. At the start of a new year, it's natural to look back and reflect. Some of us look at the last year and think, man, that was a great year. Others of us look back and think, oh, I am ready to move on, like immediately. But here's the harder question we don't always ask. How much did my relationship with God shape the last year of my life? And how much is it going to shape the next one? And I'm not just talking about our belief in God, but about the way we really listen to Him and actually obey Him. The Bible gives us a powerful contrast between just believing God exists and doing what He says in the story of the nation of Israel. God rescued His people from slavery in Egypt. He promised them a new land, one full of abundance and freedom and life. And when they finally stood on the edge of it, God said, go. But instead of obeying, they hesitated. They looked at all the obstacles in front of them and they let fear grow, and they chose what they thought was the safer path instead of following God's path. And one small moment of doubt turned into decades of wandering. It's just this spiral of sin and not acting on our belief. And here's the sobering reality. It wasn't so much that they didn't believe God existed. They'd seen Him do great things. It was just that they weren't willing to obey Him. And the book of James says it pretty plainly. Faith without works is dead. Even the demons believe in God. The difference between our faith and the faith that the demons and the devil have isn't the truths we acknowledge. It's the level at which we obey. And that's what Joshua understood, even while his entire nation refused to obey because of their fear. And then fast forward 40 years, drop in on Joshua again, and here he is, standing with his people at another impossible moment, looking at the Jordan River at flood stage. And this time the instruction from God was clear. God said, step forward. And Joshua did something different. He acted immediately. He led boldly. And the miracle didn't happen before he stepped. It happened after. The waters of the Jordan didn't part until their feet stepped in. And I think in your life and mine, that's often how God works. He calls us to obedience before He shows us the outcome. He asks us to trust Him before He removes all of our fear. And in the end, that raises a pretty personal question for all of us. Is there something God's been nudging you toward that you've delayed because of fear? Not because you don't believe God's there or even believe He's leading you in that direction, but because obedience feels risky. Here's my encouragement this week. Fear doesn't disqualify you. Fear is often a place where God does His best work. And so if the only thing holding you back from following God in the direction of life He has for you, the direction that He's tugging at your heart for is fear, there's a good chance that God's inviting you to move forward and trust Him in that space more deeply. And so as we step into discussions tonight, don't overthink it. Ask God a simple, honest question, what is my next step of obedience? Not my next 10 steps, not what's your 5-year plan for my life, just what's my next step? Because one act of obedience, just one step, can change the direction of your entire year.